hey guys, we're here with our week 5. I don't know why I was going to say 3. We're here with our week 5 NPL season 3 battle. We are taking on the Nevada Noiverns and Mr. NoivernNation. He will definitely be down in the description below, so make sure you guys go check him out. He's a pretty good battler in the NPL. He's made playoffs in both season 1 and season 2, and as I said, he's one of the original NPL members from season 1. But looking at the team he brought to this match, he has the Mew, the Tornadus, the Exploud, the Empoleon, the Jolteon, and the Mega Houndoom. Pretty much a team I was expecting, except for the Exploud. I was kind of not really expecting that. I was expecting maybe more Mimikyu instead of that. But anyways, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and lead off with my Volcanion. Excuse me. Just because it puts offensive pressure on pretty much everything that he could... on pretty much everything on his team, I should say. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. He is going to lead tornadus-t, and I'm going to go ahead and lead Volcanion. Now, I'm predicting this thing to have knockoff, and I don't really want this Volcanion to have its Assault Vest knocked off, because that will be very useful for the Mega Houndoom. So I'm just going to go ahead and switch into my Sylveon. Leftovers isn't a big deal on Sylveon, so it will be fine. He's going to click U-turn, and I believe I'm going to click Wish. So I could potentially get a clean switch into whatever can counter whatever he switches into, if that makes sense. He goes into his Empoleon, and obviously I cannot touch this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and go into my Volcanion, just so I could potentially do some offensive pressure with the Flamethrower and potentially go for Focus Blast. I'm sorry guys, my commentary probably sucks right about now. I'm going to go ahead and click Focus Blast, trying to do some damage to this Empoleon, but he's actually going to go ahead and go into his Tornadus. That is going to take virtually nothing from this Focus Blast, so that will be okay with me. I'm going to go ahead and go into my Sylveon. Again, it's my answer to this Tornadus. It's the best thing I have for it. Hurricane is doing about 28%, close to 30% to me. So obviously that's some good not so damage on on Sylveon. Oh my gosh, I will let you guys know. It has been a rough few days. So my commentary probably sucks right about now, but he goes into his Exploud, and what I can do is I can actually go ahead and Wish Protect and get up to a good chunk of health. So this Exploud will not be able to kill me. Now the plan is to Hyper Voice here, so I can scout potentially what Exploud set he is, to see if he is potentially choiced, or if he is like Life Orb, or Expert Belt maybe, or something like that. It would all depend on my calcs. But he actually goes into his Tornadus. I believe I Wish again. I forget exactly why I did that. I probably should have Hyper Voiced down. But anyways, he clicks U-turn just to get some initiative, and he's going to go into his Empoleon this time, I believe. Yes, as I click Hyper Voice, now it's not going to... That's going to be able to do some chip damage to the Empoleon, which won't do very much, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is finding out that Empoleon doesn't have leftovers, which makes me think it's Shucaberry for my landorus, so I will have to play around with that. I'm going to go ahead and go to my Scizor, predicting him to want to Flash Cannon, and I can get an opportunity to defog away the rocks. He gets a crit with the Flash Cannon, not a big deal. We can still play around that. We have Roost if we need it. But I can Mega Evolve and defog away these rocks, which will be perfectly fine. He goes into his Tornadus, and obviously this thing has Heat Wave, unless he's really good at bluffing, in which case props to you, Davion. So I can't risk it. I really need this Scizor around as potential clean sack later, or for keeping away the rocks. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my Sylveon when I have a clean answer to it, so that will be perfectly fine with us. He's going to go ahead and click U-turn as we go into our Sylveon, as he's going to go right back into his Empoleon. Now obviously I still cannot touch this thing, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go into my Volcanion. Now that rocks aren't set up, I don't have to worry about damage. He can't really touch me with any moves that Empoleon gets besides HP, Electric, or Rock, or Ground, or something like that. He actually clicks Scald, and I'm completely immune to that because of my Water Absorb. I believe that's the first time this season Water Absorb is actually activated, so that's pretty cool. I click Flamethrower here because it's the neutral play. If he stays in with Empoleon, that does some damage to it. If he goes onto anything else, that does damage to it. I don't think he would go into Houndoom to potentially get a Flash Fire boost, but if he did, props to him. I'm going to go ahead and go back into my Sylveon as he U-turns out onto my Tornadus. That is important information to know, that he would like to U-turn out on my Volcanion, and I could potentially play around with that. He's going to go into this Houndoom, and obviously this thing has Sludge Bomb, but I am especially defensive. I could take that no problem. I can take 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and Hyper Voice. and do some massive damage to this Houndoom, and I can wish this turn and get back up to a good chunk of health with Protect the next turn. As he's going to go back and do his Empoleon, as we've said many times, and I cannot touch Empoleon, so I'm going to actually wish. And I believe I wish right back into my Volcanion. And this turn, I'm going to go ahead and click Steam Eruption and get some, potentially start passing around some burns as he sets his rocks back up. Now, I click Steam Eruption as he goes into his Tornadus. Now it's going to do a very good chunk of damage. It's actually going to do about 53% according to Showdown. To the point where another one could potentially kill. Now, right here is a huge play because knowing that he wanted to U-turn on my Volcanion early, predicting me to go into Sylveon, I can actually stay in on this turn and let him U-turn, and I can click Steam Eruption, get some damage off and do something else. He goes into his Empoleon. I was kind of hoping for a burn. No burn, but that's perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead and click Flamethrower, engage the damage, and truly see how specially defensive this Empoleon is, knowing that he can't touch me. He gets a crit with Flash Cannon, and it does 9%. That should just go to say how little he can touch me. Excuse me. He's going to go ahead and go into his Tornadus. I'm actually going to go ahead and click Flame Charge. And now that I am at +1, I could potentially be outspeeding this Tornadus. And I can actually kill with Steam Eruption. It is a roll to kill with Steam Eruption right there. We do get the roll, so that's good. Tornadus is going to drop. I 100% acknowledge that that was a roll. He's going to go ahead and go into his Jolteon, and I would like to save this Volcanion for the Houndoom, so I'm going to go ahead and try to sack off my Sylveon. Thunderbolt is doing about 26%. This turn I can go ahead and click Wish on the off chance he switches, which he actually does end up switching as he goes into his Mew. Now what I could do here is I could go ahead and get a Wish Pass into my Frostlass, which will take me back up to full after Rocks. And I can click Shadow Ball and start doing some damage to this Mew, because the more damage this Mew takes, the better off my Landorus will be later. He actually is going to set up a sub here, and I'm going to go ahead and click Shadow Ball. I do unfortunately lock myself into Shadow Ball. As he sets up a Rock Polish, and because he is faster than me now, he's actually going to be able to Baton Pass into his Exploud and be completely immune to the Shadow Ball. And I'm in a not too great position right now. There's a +2 speed Exploud in front of me, and I can't do anything about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and sack off my Sylveon so I can get a clean switch into my Mesprit and start playing around with that. I am specially defensive, so I can take a few hits from this Exploud. Unfortunately, I can't do much back to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go into my Mesprit, and I'm going to click Toxic and start whittling down this Exploud. He clicks Boom Burst. It does about 38% to me, which is perfectly fine. I click Toxic, and he reveals that he's actually Lumberry. I was wondering why that Boom Burst only did 38% to me. He's Lumberry, so that's going to be able to heal off his Toxic immediately. He clicks another Boom Burst, gets a crit, and kills me. The crit did matter to kill me. I don't think it would have mattered for the ultimate outcome of this game, but it did matter to kill Mesprit, that is for sure. The plan was to Toxic him again and get up rocks on the Custap. But that's okay. Or potentially go for an Ice Beam on the Custap too. That would work as well. But actually, he's going to go for another Boom Burst as I go into my Volcanion. I'm going to go ahead and click Steam Eruption, which will bring it down to the point where a Scizor with Bullet Punch can kill it. Now, it literally will come down to, in the late games, these last few turns, it comes down to his Houndoom set. So I'm going to be able to kill this Exploud with Mega Scizor with Bullet Punch. And he's going to go into his Houndoom, and obviously this thing kills me with Fire Blast, or insert fire move here. It probably kills me with Fire Look at Me Funny, if that were a move. Obviously I can't go into Frostlass, it will drop. I have to go into my Landorus and pray he does not have HP Ice. I can set up a Rock Polish right here and potentially put in work against this team, but he is wise. He brings HP Ice on his Houndoom that will be able to bop my Landorus, and Landorus is going to drop. All I have left is the Frostlass, and this thing cannot take a Fire-type move, which is unfortunate. So we are going to take a 4-0 loss to the Nevada Noiverns. We are going to drop to 3-2 +2 this season. Definitely not the kind of the season I wanted to be having so far. 3-2 is okay. I'm still in a good position to make playoffs, so that will be fine. But definitely good game to Noivern. He definitely earned this win. He played way better than I did. In hindsight, I would have prepped more for Mew, and I would have prepped more for Exploud. I would have probably brought Conkeldurr. Basically, my point is if I could redo this match over again, I would probably bring Conkeldurr. because I didn't realize how badly Xbloud kind of bodied me. But anyways, that is going to be it for this battle. If you guys did enjoy, a like and a subscription would be much appreciated. Next week, we take on the Montreal Monfernos and their coach BlueVictiny, a very good battler in the format. So I am looking forward to that. Is definitely a match I've been looking forward to for a while now. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.